This is Jocko podcast number 377 with Echo Charles and me, Jocko Willink. Good evening, Echo.
Good evening.
So, a while ago, we might even say, back in the day,
Hell yeah.
in the days, I gave some advice, a little advice to the boys in a certain situation. And I think this piece of advice that I gave, it's one of those pieces of advice, very simple piece of advice. Very simple piece of advice. And yet, if you follow this very simple piece of advice, your whole life will be in a much better place. Gold nugget. Now, I know that's a little arrogant, right? To sit here and tell you that I spewed some gold nugget piece of advice, right?
Yeah.
But I think you might agree with me when you hear this piece of advice that I gave some people. And I've given it to other people over the years. Here's the very powerful piece of advice that will help you much in life. The piece of advice is, don't do dumb shit. And I know it's not earth-breaking, right? I know it's not some ancient Western or Eastern philosophical statement. But let me ask you this. How many people do you know that have either significantly negatively impacted their lives or wrecked their lives, either slowly over time or very quickly in some cases? How many people do you know that have really made a mess of their lives by doing dumb shit? Oh, I know a lot of them. And as like I said, I was actually giving this advice to someone the other day, and I started thinking to myself, this is so obvious. Why would anyone do dumb shit? Why would you do it? Literally. What are the reasons? And then I started thinking about actual reasons that cause people to do dumb shit, myself included. And I'm sure we'll find some examples for Echo Charles. Mm-hmm. But I thought, let's sit down, let me think about some of these things, and we can discuss some of the primary reasons for us to do dumb shit. And that way, maybe we can prevent some people, and that means me, and that means you, from doing some dumb shit. Okay, first on my list, this one's real obvious. This one is the winner by far. Mm-hmm. Alcohol. Look.
Yes, sir.
If you take the SEAL teams, or just take the military in general, if you removed alcohol from the equation, there would be a lot less dumb shit going on. Mm-hmm. Look, we're still doing dumb shit. Yeah. But when I used to have guys get in trouble, 95% of the time, there was alcohol involved. Think about that. 95% of the time, when a SEAL did some dumb shit, maybe 90%. 90% of the time, there was alcohol involved. They were doing some dumb shit. Think about high school, right? What goes on in high school? When people get in trouble in high school, probably 80%, maybe 70%. Well, you got that little spike of rebelliousness that's going on in high school that doesn't require alcohol. Yeah, it doesn't require the stupidity of alcohol. College, when you see like when something hits the news for college, yep. There's alcohol involved. That might be 97%, right? The frat guy dies from too much alcohol. The date rape thing happens because the guy's drunk, the girl's drunk, like it's just a disaster. The vandalism happens, the kid falls out the window drunk. Like, you take all those college things, 97% alcohol's in the game. Yeah. Am I right?
Yeah, that sounds right to me too.
You're more of the college experience than me.
Yep.
The military, like I said, and life in general. Life in general, this alcohol thing is just going to lead to bad scenarios. Mm-hmm. It's going to lead to you doing dumb shit. Some of it is, hey, you get pulled over by the cops. You might be in that mindset like, well, I'm fine, but you blow a, 0.081 or whatever. Yep. So now you're technically you're drunk. Yep. Well, yeah, guess what? You're out 10 grand. You're maybe out your driver's license. You get in an accident with that. Now you're getting sued. Like, it's just a total life turnaround in 3 seconds.
Yep.
Never mind if you're actually drunk and you do something dumb. You hit somebody, whatever. That's terrible. You get in fights. I mean, you go to, are there any fights in the supermarket? Right? There are occasionally.
Yeah, not really though.
Right, but not a lot.
Yeah.
Low percentage. Are there any fights on the boardwalk, like during the day on a Saturday? There can be, but there's not a lot. But what about Saturday night?
Yeah.
What changed? It's darker.
Yeah.
But what really changed? They put that booze.
Those drinks.
They put that whiskey in the scene.
Yep. It's true.
Some people go crazy, by the way. Some people, alcohol makes them go crazy.
Yeah.
This is a legitimate thing.
Yeah.
Like, I have friends, they're drinking. They're actually not going to do anything stupid. They're going to go, they're going to have a drink. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
I have some friends, when they drink alcohol, they're just going to lose their mind.
Yeah.
They're going to lose their mind. You have to put a party of warriors
Yeah.
to like keep them under control.
Handlers. Straight
Handlers.
up.
Yeah,
Oh,
straight
yeah.
up.
Yep.
So there you go.
My boss in one of the nightclubs I worked at in Hawaii didn't drink, or he told me he didn't drink. I said, "Oh, why not?" You know, because it didn't compute. We work in the nightclub or whatever. He's one of the few people, and he said, "I'm a belligerent drunk."
Oh, he knew it. He was self-aware.
Yep, he totally was. But what was more like what made an impact on me was the idea of being a belligerent drunk, because he just said, "I'm a belligerent drunk." So that, to me, how it came off to me was like, he knows, and we all know about what a belligerent drunk is. Like someone who gets drunk and just wants to start stuff on whatever scale.
Hell
you
yeah.
know, like I'm gonna start a fight with my friend.
I told you
start
about
an argument.
I tell you about one buddy. Like, he was passed out on a high boy table. You know what that is?
It's like a standing
table,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you can
at the
have a
bar.
tall stool
Yeah.
or whatever. So he's kind of just passed out on that.
Yeah.
You know, it's. Oh, by the way, it's only like 10 o'clock at night. And he's passed out drunk. We've been drinking since whenever. I mean, this is back in the day. Like, we're just stupid.
Yep.
And so, you know, I meet some girls. They're like, "Hey, let's go to this other bar." And I'm like, "Yeah, you know, this is back in the day." And so I'm like, "Okay, we're gonna go to this other bar." So I wake him up. And I say, "Hey, bro, hey, we're going to this other bar." He like stands up, looks at me. Look, he kind of looks normal. He takes 2 steps and he takes a swing at some random dude that's walking away or walking by him with his girlfriend. He takes a swing at this guy.
Yeah.
I grab him and I get a hold of him, and he's yelling. He's going, "What did he do?" Like, that's what my friend is saying. He's going, "What did he do? What did he do?" I'm like, "He didn't do anything, man. He didn't do anything. It's okay." He's like, "What did he do?" And I get him outside, and meanwhile the guy gets outside. And as we get outside, the guy sees that I'm holding my buddy back. And the guy looks at me and goes, "Yeah, you better hold on to him." And I look at the guy and I go, "Hey, man, if you don't get out of here, I'm going to let him go." And then the dude just does like, well, he took off, bro. He didn't want none of that.
No.
But that's animalistic behavior coming out.
Yep.
This is no judgment.
Yeah.
No judgment. Like, his judgment is just, and by the way, this guy who's a friend of mine, he didn't have a real, he was kind of he's just going to take action type of bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Apparently.
Sober or not.
Yeah.
Like, when he's sober, he might have like maybe 2 or 3 seconds of consideration before action.
Right.
And those are not long seconds. You know, he's considering maybe, can I get killed right now? Or can I get arrested? Is there a cop in the immediate 20 feet around me? No, I can get away with this. I'm going to do it. But when alcohol is involved, there's no thought process whatsoever. Just zero. I'm just going to do whatever pops into my head.
Yeah.
That's alcohol. So that's why I think, you know, I think everybody's got a kind of joke like this of, you know, if it wasn't for alcohol, the Irish would rule the world. The SEALs would rule the world. You know, like you say that about all these different cultures, that the English would rule the world. Like, alcohol will screw you up and make you do dumb shit.
Oh yeah, you brought up the judgment thing. You ever watched the movie Kingpin? Remember that one?
The bowling movie?
Bowling movie. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So he said something at some point where the guy, you know, he's trying to develop this new bowling talent, right? The Amish dude. And then he said, they did something that failed. It was massive failure. And he's like, you said you could develop me into the next talent. And he was like, I've been hammered for the last, 15 years or whatever. So my judgment isn't all that good. And it kind of got me thinking where even if I'm at home by myself, in front of the computer, watching TV or whatever, like by myself, my judgment is not good drinking alcohol. So so I'm gonna admit this to you. So I'll do the dumb shit I do, which thankfully doesn't have huge repercussions, but I'll get like an idea to do some cool shit. And bro, there's like a handful of people that'll literally like vouch for this fact. I'll get an idea and I'll be like, oh, that would be so cool if I like started doing this, right? And I was like, who can I do that? Like, who would help me with this? Like, who would bring some really cool shit to the table for this idea that I'm about to develop, that I just developed right now? So I'll text like Keenan Cornelius. Whatever, the idea is dumb. It's a dumb idea. Yeah. But the fact is, my point is like judgment is just off. Bad. Yeah, even it can literally seem like, bro, this is gonna change like the whole trajectory of like what we're doing. Yeah. And it's this idea. And then you wake up the next day, you see the text because it's like 3 a.m. So the normal person is not going to text back at that time. So in the morning, I get the reply text, and I'm waiting to hear this idea, all this stuff, and I'm like, yeah, never mind about that idea. But it happens a lot. Even if the kind and I'm the kind where I'll know, like if I was drinking or whatever, I'll know like, hey, like sometimes I do come up with bad ideas, so I understand. So I'm gonna be aware of that, even though I know, still judgment, terrible.
We have a thing in the SEAL teams where guys would be sitting around drinking, and they'd say like, "Oh, we were solving the world's problems." Yeah, right? Yeah. Is that a common thing? Yeah. Okay, yeah. It's very similar to what you're talking about. We were thinking, "Oh, if we just did this and we did," and you're coming up with the dumbest solutions. Yeah. Oh yeah. And thank God you don't act on them or whatever they might be. Hopefully. But case in point, alcohol, big contributor to doing dumb shit.
You said something about or when you mentioned the drinking and driving, right? Where that one. So, okay, there's the kind where you drink you drink some, and you're like, maybe I'm over, maybe I'm not, but like I for real feel I can drive. It's no problem. Like the risk, like it doesn't even seem like a risk. Yeah. That's the alcohol telling you that. That's A. B, it is a risk, straight up risk, and it's not a hard decision technically.
It's like, not a small risk either.
Yeah, huge. And but it's not like a hard decision. It's not like, oh my gosh, let me just weigh out these pros and cons and like, man, okay, cons. Oh, bro, all cons, all of them. It's so easy to tell. Meanwhile, we do it.
Especially now with Uber.
Yeah.
I mean, for real. Like Uber is just a problem solver.
Yeah, fully.
So let's make sure, I guess, when people do the, like the psychological, or psycho drugs, like psychedelic drugs or whatever, they say, oh, you need to go to like a special place to do where you won't,
where you have a coach.
You don't do them at like Costco. Right? You're supposed to go to a place where you're not going to hurt anybody. You're not going to hurt yourself. You kind of need to set yourself up with alcohol like that.
I think that's actually a good idea.
Yeah. Put yourself in this, like, if you really feel the need, go to a situation where you're not going to be around these problems that are going to come, because they're going to come.
That sounds funny, but really when you kind of think of it and ignore some of the social stuff, that's probably a good idea, A. And B, when you really look at it kind of from that perspective, a bar and nightclub is the literal exact opposite. So you said, let's have you in a responsible, safe area with a coach that can guide you through it. Maybe multiple coaches, because this is a powerful drug and it's going to make you have feelings that you think are real, but they're not, and all this stuff. And that's true. But actually, instead of that, let's do this. Let's put you in a place where you can get as much as you want, literally as much as long as you don't pass out or start throwing up or whatever. You can have as much as you want, as long as you can afford it, by the way, because we're going to charge you a little bit extra on that one. As much as you want. And we're going to put you in the vicinity of two things that are probably the most emotionally compelling things that a human being can do with. If you're a boy, it's girls who are dressed up the best they can, by the way, and to look as, let's say, attractive as possible. And a bunch of other guys who are out to do the same thing, while, to compete with socially, that you don't know and have no, ties to or whatever. Oh yeah, that's the perfect recipe for safety.
I was talking to a friend of mine, this is a couple of years ago, and I hadn't seen him in a long time. And I was like, oh, what have you been up to? And he kind of told me what he'd been up to. And he said, yeah, I got in trouble here. I got arrested there. And he said, I was addicted to, I started using crack, or I started using coke. Then I started using crack. Then I started using like the whole 9 yards. Mm. And as I'm talking to him, he goes, you know what the craziest thing is? He said, the craziest thing is the worst drug for me. That's what he got arrested for. He goes, the only thing I've been arrested for, he'd been to rehab and stuff for these other drugs. He said, the only thing I've actually been arrested for is when I drink alcohol. He goes, when I drink alcohol, I'm totally insane. And I can vouch for this. I've seen him drink alcohol, and he is totally insane. Mm. And he said, is this craziest thing that the drug that makes me totally insane is the only one that I can walk down to the corner store and buy as much of it as I possibly want. Yeah. He said, it's terrible.
It's crazy.
And that's a very good point. And the weird thing about it is that alcohol affects different people differently. I mean, for real, it does.
Yeah.
And so some people, that's why when I talk to like younger people, you don't know how it's going to affect you. Yeah. And if you don't know, well, again, what's the risk that you're taking? The risk that you're taking is maybe this is just, you're one of those people that just goes freaking ape shit when you drink this stuff. Yeah. And you get addicted to it the whole 9 yards. Yeah. And speaking of just setting yourself up at a minimum, like, oh, you're going to go, I'm going to drive down to the bar and I might have a few drinks. Just don't drive there. Just get an Uber there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like put yourself, if you're smart, at least set yourself up for some kind of not being an idiot.
Yeah, that's some legit mitigation right there, for sure. The scary one, just one more additional scary part of alcohol. And this is it lands on people on different areas of the spectrum here, but what it does, so you can think, and we all think most of the time anyway, I can drink and like I'll just really monitor myself and focus on monitoring myself. I won't do nothing dumb, right? I promise to your wife or whoever. But what alcohol does is it literally makes bad ideas seem good, like good ideas. They flip over to good ideas. You seem to have
so much personal experience with that, bro.
A lot of reflection.
We got asked on the underground. Somebody asked about alcohol and like, well, I feel like I should cut it down, and I've been addicted. Like he had a big thing. He said, how can I do a better job of cutting it down? Yeah. And I basically said at the end of I kind of went around. I said, listen, man, I just can't get behind it at all. Yeah. I just can't tell you that there's any positive way that you should be doing this. Just you shouldn't be doing it. Yeah. And I had several people reach out to me and say, thanks for saying that, because that's the right answer. Yeah. The right answer is you shouldn't be doing this. Yeah. And you just, especially if you have if you have a problem with it, you shouldn't do it at all. Yeah. Period. End of story. Yeah. And look, if you're one of those people that's lucky enough that you can have a few and it's okay and you like a glass of wine with dinner and all that stuff, I get it. And I'm not trying to say anything bad about you, and I'm not trying to take away your bottle of wine or your beer after a hard day work. If you can do that, cool. Good for you. Yeah. But if you're one of those people that glass of wine turns into a bottle of wine, or that 2 beers turns into 8, 12, 24 beers, that's not good, and you shouldn't be doing it. And if you're one of those people that your judgment goes completely off the rails, you shouldn't be doing it. There's just other things you should do. So had to put that one as the number one, I would say, for people between the ages of 16 and 35. Yeah. Probably the number one cause of doing dumb shit, alcohol. So just be careful out there, people. Drugs, I had to list drugs too, because obviously drugs are similar. Everything that we just said about alcohol, you can kind of say about drugs too. Yeah. So drugs. I think I've told you this before. I had a friend that he did meth, and he said he'd just gotten out of jail. He did like 7 years in jail for stealing and doing all kinds of stuff. Right. And he was doing all this bad stuff because he was addicted to meth. And he said that the very first time he ever tried meth, he said it was the only thing that he ever wanted to do for the rest of his life. He was like 100% totally addicted. Yeah. And he started in his immediate family stealing everything that they had. Then his grandma, then his granddad, then his aunt and uncle. He stole everything from his family, then everything from his friends. And then he went to a different city and did the same thing again and same thing again and same thing again until he finally ended up in a place where his luck ran out. He got caught and ended up doing 7 years in prison. From one try of meth. Yeah. So drugs, again, it's like the same thing. I just can't. And you know how some people say they have an addictive personality?
Yeah.
And it's almost like a little bit of a humble brag. You know what I mean? Oh, I got an addictive personality.
I sense that.
The reason I say is I think I used to say that.
For real.
I used to be, oh yeah, I kind of have an addictive personality. I actually think I do not actually have an addictive personality. You know, I like to do some things. Like I really like doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You know, could I say, oh yeah, I'm kind of addicted to jiu-jitsu? You can say that, but it's not like running my life.
Right. What does that mean? How do you interpret that when someone's like, I have an addictive?
Meaning,
what do you think that means?
Meaning, oh, you try alcohol, it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
You're now going to get as much as you can, and you're not going to stop until something goes bad.
Let's say not even drugs or alcohol, like just if you have an addictive personality, you know.
Yeah, I don't really. I don't know if there's even a technical term for it. I feel like I used to say it. You know, when I was younger, like I kind of had almost like a humble brag.
Yeah.
And probably when I was like 30, I was like, actually, I don't think I have an addictive personality at all.
Yeah.
Like we would go on ships
Yeah.
where you're not allowed to drink, and I just wouldn't care at all.
Right.
You know, wouldn't care at all. It's like whatever.
Yeah. Addictive personality to me strikes me as something where like if you like kind of get into something, you know, some big thing, small thing, whatever you get into, you just go hard into that subject or activity. That's what it feels like it means, you know. And technically, I mean, in a way, kind of know some people like that. Where it's like, oh, he's on this now, and he just spends like years just being into this every day, kind of a thing. Yep. I could see it, but I think you're right, and I didn't really think about that. Where it's like it's kind of a humble brag, as if to say, I just go hard. If I get into something, I just go hard. That's how I am. Yeah. You know,
it's almost like saying, "Yeah, I'm kind of a perfectionist." That whole thing, you know, it's sort of like, "Hey, I've got an addictive personality." You just gotta, "Hey, man, I'm just gonna go." Yeah, maybe. So I don't think I have that, but I definitely know people that. I know some people that went hard in these directions, various directions. And you can also, you know, you hear about people that were drug addicts, and when they get done with drug addicts, they get off of them, and then they become like addicted to fitness. Yeah, you know what I mean? They just, I used to go. I was alcoholic, and I started working out, and they just get addicted to that. Right? I started running marathons. I started right? So that's what I think. When I think of addictive personality, it's someone that's just disregarding other parts of their life. And they're just doing this thing, whatever that thing is. So there's alcohol, drugs. Okay, now the next one here that I was thinking about is, and a lot of these things are related, but these kind of instinctual or animalistic drives that we have as human beings. So these can make you do dumb things, right? So you got food, right? You got the reproductive drive, sex. You've got the aggression, like you have a natural, different levels, but a natural level of aggression. When, have you ever done a sport where something made you mad? Like you got frustrated with the sport and you like hit, like you get frustrated on the mats and you like hit the mats. Or you've seen someone like punch the wall mat after they get tapped, right? Yeah, fully, that's a thing. Or they get submitted, or they get worked over on the mat, and they start to get hostile.
Yeah. Oh, wait, are you talking about just hostile in general, or hostile towards the person?
Both.
Or whatever?
Both.
Okay, general hostility.
Like there's an aggression level that can come out.
Yeah, gotcha.
And so those are animalistic things, animalistic drives that we have that can make you do dumb things. And here's to not go too crazy on an example, but you have an animalistic drive to eat food. So that can make you make bad decisions, because if you get a freaking big ass box of donuts in front of you, you have an instinct to eat those donuts, 100%. Yeah. And that's, same thing with the sex drive that you have. You could be in a situation where the animalistic part of you could just make you break down, and you're going to go. The aggression thing, you get into a scenario where you get backed into a corner. The animalistic thing's like, I better protect myself. I need to get aggressive right now. Fear also can make you do things, which is an animalistic emotion, I guess, is fear. And there's some animalistic things that are positive too. Being protective. Yeah. Like when a guy runs into a house, or a mom runs into a burning house to save their kid. Yeah. They're like being animalistically protective. Yeah. You hear about the bear protecting its cubs. Well, humans will do that too. It's a positive thing. But you have to pay attention to make sure that your animal instincts aren't making you do dumb shit. Yeah. Because they can.
Yes, they can.
So
that you talked about the food thing. So, and I say this because this is probably very like prevalent and common, where you know how you talk about fasting and stuff like that. So some people, they might not be ready for that hunger, and we've talked about that too. Where if you're not ready for that hunger, or actually forget fasting. What if you just didn't eat today because you didn't have time or whatever, right? You just just a normal person, and then you get home. Okay, let's just say it, me. All right, so I get home and I'm hungry because I missed lunch because I was doing whatever, and I get home and you know I'm like many people where I pay attention to what I eat. I'm not just like, oh, I'm hungry. Oh, there's a McDonald's. That sounds good. But you know, like so I pay attention and try to I'm thoughtful.
Deliberate.
Deliberate. Yes, exactly. Deliberate. So if I'm hungry though, super hungry, like let's say 8 hours, no food, like that's hunger, you know, in my opinion. But I'll go home, and then if I see some like candy walnuts cruising over there, or some chips like over there or whatever, like I'll get into them. You know, when I didn't have any plan to do that, that wasn't part of any program. It wasn't part of even my plan. You know, but I will be way more thoughtless of what I eat when you're hungry. You know, where it's like, oh no, dinner's coming out right now. Oh, it's still pulling me toward So that can kind of like make you go into that spiral, that animalistic spiral, you know.
So that's why this is on the list, man.
Bro, you gotta
make you do dumb shit.
You gotta watch out. And really, this kind of goes for this whole list. Alcohol, like everything, even stuff that'll seem real obvious to some people. Part of the problem, or if not a significant part of the problem, is that you're not paying attention. It's almost like you're not, like you lost focus for 1 second. And you just let the animalistic whatever kind of take over. You know, the momentum of your whole thing, whatever you're doing. Even the alcohol thing, you know, you say, and I know you're going to talk about this, where peer pressure, right? Where peer pressure doesn't come in ways like how you see on the old school 80s, 90s commercials where it's like, come on, don't be a chicken. It doesn't always come like that, you know? It comes in like a lot of subtle ways that just sort of, you're going forward in life and the peer pressure nudges you right to the side. Like, why would anyone, and this is I'm not like judging or nothing, anyone who does this, but why would anyone ever smoke a cigarette? Like, there's no reason ever, especially now, ever to smoke cigarettes. But why do people smoke cigarettes? There should be not one single human being, technically, or in America, technically, who should start smoking.
Yeah, should be zero.
Like that decision-making process is polluted by this peer pressure, by something. It's polluted by something distracting their decision-making process. And that's why I don't judge, because let's face it.
You know, I've said this about alcohol too. Back in the day, you know, if you wanted to prove that you were kind of willing to sacrifice for the team and that you were tough, one of the ways you could do that is like, oh, watch how much I can drink. Watch how much I can abuse my own body and then still go on, right? Sure. You see somebody in this day and age, if you're going to make a decision to smoke cigarettes, it's literally a way of saying, hey, look, I don't care about anything. I don't care about my own health. That's how much I don't care. It's a statement. I think if you were going to be, that would be the only reason where I think someone would go, oh yeah, look at me. I don't even care. This is horrible for me. I can get a horrible disease and I'm just over here smoking a cigarette. Yeah. Posty, right? Yeah. Post Malone just out there singing and freaking smoking a cigarette. Yeah. It's a bummer. He must be addicted to the cigarettes, though, huh?
Yeah, and to me, this is all real. This is real life. This isn't like, oh, you guys are so dumb. It's like, no. It's actually pretty obvious. Like, I see exactly why that's going on, because I've been peer pressured into doing so much dumb stuff. Where as an adult, they'll be like, hey, did you do this? And then to say yes is actually embarrassing, even though it's something that like plenty of young people do or whatever. There's a lot of stuff that go like that, you know, that we've all done or whatever. So hey, that's just one of them. So whatever, do what you dig. But when you really stop and think, which I was going to say this earlier, where a lot of this, it's crazy how it goes back to all these simple terms, you know, back when you're like 5 years old, when your teacher telling you, hey, don't do dumb stuff. Okay, cool, I won't. Hey, stop and think. We all hear that. Just stop and think, right? So look, if you just stop and think before you're about to smoke your first cigarette, stop and think, and then make a conscious decision, you'll be like, oh, wait, I'm probably not going to smoke that cigarette.
Yeah. Which goes back to this very simple piece of advice. Yeah. That's why this simple piece of advice is powerful.
Yes, sir.
So there you go. And you know what? You're going to see like a lot of these things are tied together. For instance, when you drink alcohol, your animalistic nature is more It's closer to the surface.
Yeah.
That's why we're fighting more.
Yeah.
You know, like that's why you get done with a night of drinking and you swing by that pizzeria. You know, you're like, give me that triple cheese, right? Give me the triple cheese. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
stack it up.
Yep.
Man, when I was in
True.
Guam,
Mm-hmm.
my first deployment, we would like drink, and then there was this freaking like 24-hour gas station food mart,
Yeah.
and they had these microwavable rib sandwiches, and I would literally get 5 of them, and then just sit there and eat them at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Boneless?
Yeah, just a boneless, but it's like a McRib sandwich
Yeah.
that you threw in the microwave.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably nothing worse you could eat as a human.
I know.
You know, but
Dang.
4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning,
Get it.
hungry.
Yeah.
Let's eat this crap.
Yep.
So there you go. Watch out for that. This next one, this next one's really obviously very, very, very clear, very prominent. That's our ego. Could be as far as internally, as far as who we are. You take away the external drugs and alcohol, ego is going to be a huge problem. We do so many dumb things because of our ego. And what's interesting is you start seeing the thread between the ego and sort of your animalistic drives. There's a connection, right? There's a connection between aggression. You know, when you get in my face, we're in a bar, or in the supermarket, doesn't really matter. You get in my face, you steal my cart,
Yep.
right?
Hell yeah.
And I get mad, and I might get mad, or I might be like, "Hey, what are you doing?" But then you say, "What are you going to do about it?" You just attack my ego.
Yeah.
Now I might do some dumb shit.
Yep.
Because let's face it, what am I gonna get out of fighting you in the Vaughn's parking lot? What am I gonna get out of that? I'm not gonna get anything out of it. In fact, there's almost no good outcome.
Yeah.
At a minimum, I broke a finger or skinned my knee, or I mean, at a maximum, I get killed. Right? You shank me with a freaking a butter knife, a sharpened butter knife, or you shoot me because you got concealed carry. Like, so what's happening? That's an ego situation. So how many times are we doing dumb shit because our ego is getting in the way and driving our decision-making process? Again, this is something we talk about all the time from a leadership perspective. Of course, Echo's got a plan and I've got my plan and I think my plan's better and my ego gets in the way. That's cool. We get that. But as far as just on an individual human being level, how much dumb stuff are you doing because your ego gets in the way? And the answer is a ton. That's the answer. Everything from an animalistic fight because your ego gets in the way to, you're talking to your wife and she says something that offends your ego. So what do? You snap back. Or what do you say? Snap back or clap back?
I think it might be both. I'm
Okay.
not sure.
You get aggressive back at her.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you're escalating the situation. Now instead of going out for dinner and having a nice Friday night, everything's a disaster. You're doing dumb stuff because your ego. What about you're out with your buddies, you're 16 years old, and it's time to do something crazy. Mm-hmm. Oh, we're going to jump off this thing. We're going to dive over that thing. We're going to throw things at this vehicle. Like, we're going to do troublesome stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's not smart. And then someone's like, oh, what are you, a wimp? Your ego gets offended. Yep. Now what are you going to do? Oh, watch this. I'm going to prove it. So we do dumb shit because of our ego. Put it in check. Now, it's not just a leadership thing. It's a life thing. It's a life thing. Even a lot of that peer pressure. Peer pressure, they use ego as part of peer pressure. Oh, what do you think? You're too good? No, I'll do this too. Boom. Next thing you know, pass me the cigarette. Yep. Stupid. Anything else on ego?
Yeah, you said you mentioned the thing with your wife where it's like instead of a nice night out at dinner, things are a disaster. Yeah, so it's like you're literally talking from a detached perspective because currently you're not in an argument with your wife or going out to dinner, by the way. So, but that's such a it makes it so clear when you point it out, right? So if you can even tell that to yourself in your mind, like, oh, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? You want to go out to dinner and have a good time, or you want to be in an argument with your wife for an indefinite amount of time? Because your ego is a weird thing, could be worse than alcohol, by the way. But that's a side note. So you watch Training Day? right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So he would say this. He would do that, what you just did. He'd be like, hey, you want to go to jail? You want to go home? And it puts you into that perspective where it's like, let me think. Because we all, even if we've never been to jail, we can kind of imagine what it's like to be in jail.
Mm-hmm.
And you're usually there for kind of long, regardless if you're getting sentenced or not. You're getting held in jail. You're not there for a second. You're there for, it's a shitty day.
Right.
Or you want to go home. And we all know what it feels like to be home. You put those two thoughts in your mind. You're like, oh, I want to go home.
What's the scenario where he sets this up?
Well, the first one is
he talking to perpetrators?
Yeah, the first one was, and then he said, I forget the second one he said it, and then Jake, the other guy, said it to him too at the end or whatever. But it was like a kind of a recurring thing. But yeah, exactly. He was like, yeah, you want to go to jail, you want to go home. Mm-hmm. Oh, he said it to Snoop Dogg. That was the second one, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I felt it.
Mm-hmm. Check. So there you go. Watch out for your ego. Let's face it, your ego. Once you internal forces, ego's number one.
I think you're right, and I think it's actually just as bad as alcohol, if not worse. Because I think it might be worse because it's internal. But when you think about the effects, the potential effects. Some people, I get it, where they can drink alcohol or have an ego. That can it'll do some damage. Mm-hmm. Sure, better to not have it. Sure, technically, but no huge harm, no huge foul with alcohol and ego. But ego can literally ruin a relationship, many relationships with critical people like your family or whatever, just ego.
Yeah. Well, you know what's messed up about ego is, you wake up from the dumb decision that you made when you were drunk, and at least you get to say, hey, I'm sorry, Jocko. I was drunk.
That's what I was going to say. At least
and look, you have to take ownership of the fact that you were dumb enough to get drunk. Yeah. But if your buddy does something when they're drunk and you wake up in the morning and you're like, dude, they're like, bro, you're so drunk. And you're kind of like, you get it. Right. But if they're just doing it consciously without any impairment, and it's because their ego, it's like they have no control over that. Just means that they're just bad.
It's exactly right. It's part of your personality, bro. Yeah. So it's like Jocko was drunk. He told me like that he never really liked me, or I don't know, something that was like, bro, it kind of hurt us. And then he can come back the next day and you'll feel the guilt and be like, hey, I was drunk and like freaking my judge. Like, I don't even know why. You can apologize, really bring up the alcohol thing, and I can be like, I could see it. I'd be like, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I've had plenty of friends that did dumb stuff when they were drunk, and I was like, bro. Yeah. But forgiveness is very easy.
Yeah. And you might be weary next time they start drinking and be like, okay, you're going to be dumb again. But when it's your ego, it's like, bro, that's not some external alcohol. That's part of who you are, bro. So you got to watch out.
What about when alcohol unleashes the ego too?
Oh, damn, the double whammy.
That's freaking ridiculous.
That's rough.
And then you go, even though they're like, oh, I'm drunk. You're like, yeah, but that was there's some truth serum.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The truth serum's coming out.
Yeah. And even that though, it's like, again, there's levels to it, which, obviously, but that is a real thing when the ego comes out. Actually, that's pretty common right there. Like, fuck, I'm so like, because it can be some benign egotistical stuff you can say, like stuff that's like, if you could see yourself, you'd be embarrassed, but hey, man, you're not hurting my feelings, so carry on, brother.
Wait, say that again? What's this for?
So if you're drunk and your ego comes out, start bragging about yourself, all the cool stuff that you did and how awesome you are or whatever. Come on, bro. That's real. Some people do that kind of stuff. But that doesn't necessarily hurt anyone's feelings or nothing. You didn't like do any kind of betrayal type stuff or like flip out on your girlfriend or hit her or nothing like that. Like it's benign, it doesn't like people can be like, yeah, you sounded dumb, but you're sober now. So whatever, like you didn't ruin our relationship,
Check.
But it's still real nonetheless.
All right. Watch out for your ego. Next category. It's actually a pretty big category. The category is called emotions. And look, we start looking at dumb shit that we did. Like how many freaking males between the ages of 16 and 25 have broken their hand punching a wall when they were mad? Have broken their car window, have broken their mirror, have put a hole in the drywall. How many guys have done that? Like it's a big number.
Yeah.
It's a big, big number. So anger, it's real obvious. Your emotion gets out of getting jealous. People do. I mean, let's face it. People murder people when they're jealous. Yeah. They kill other people and go to and kill themselves, and like it's just terrible. Yeah. The anxiety. People are making bad decisions because they're totally nervous about what's happening, and prevents them from moving forward. Guilt. Now, there's some of these things, look, a certain level of guilt and shame, like those type of things, there's certain reasons why those things keep you in line a little bit.
Yeah, anxiety.
Echo's supposed to be moving today, and I was going to help him, but you know what? I'd rather, I feel guilty. I go help him move.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a certain level of this stuff that's okay, but it can also, if it's taken too far, can be bad. Envy, same thing. Just getting in that point of sadness or depression where you don't feel like anything's worth anything, and now you do something stupid. So emotions can make you do some dumb things. And what's tricky about emotions is I don't know what to say, no one. It's very difficult for someone to be able to externally show you that the emotions that you're feeling are not worth the decisions that you're making. Telling someone that just got dumped by their girlfriend, just got dumped by their boyfriend, that like, hey, listen, you're going to be okay. Mm-hmm. You won't even remember that person. You're in 10th grade. By the time you're 23, you will not remember this person's name, but you can't tell them that. Mm-hmm. You can't. They're just emotionally wrapped up. They got the anger, the sadness, it's all in there, and they might do dumb stuff. Mm-hmm. So teaching people as early as you can to be able to control their emotions, and I don't even want to say control your emotions, but imagine being able to harness and not be at the whim of your emotions, like surfing, right? Mm-hmm. Like you don't learn to stop waves from coming. Mm. You learn to ride the waves and not let them smash you into the rocks. That's what you learn to do. So learning like, oh, there's some big emotions coming through me right now. I don't want to let those things push me into the rocks or let them hold me underwater. I want to be able to ride them and use them and not get abused by them. Pretty simple, straightforward concept. But very difficult, especially, let's face it, when you're a toddler, they have no emotional control. Yeah. Someone takes their rattle, they start screaming, right? They start crying. Rattle. Right? The little rattle. Yep. Right? It's hard. And then as you get older, you should get more and more control over your emotions. Yeah. That's what's supposed to happen. Yeah. You might still have things happen where you don't get control of your emotions. So the more you can explain that to people, the more you can explain like, hey, this is not a good idea. Hey, this is your emotions right now. Which is real. Look, if you were freaking mad about something, I was like, hey, Echo, you're just getting emotional. You're not going to be happy. It's going to make you more emotional, actually. That's why I have in leadership strategy and tactics, the whole idea of reflect and diminish. Like, I got to show you that I understand your emotions, like that kind of thing. Yeah. But don't let your emotions drive your decision-making process. That's it.
That one, since it's a part of your natural self, emotions, it kind of seems like, and I'm not a psychologist, you know this about me, but it does seem like this, since it's part of your natural self, you kind of got to train that.
100%.
Like alcohol, you don't have to train. You just don't drink alcohol. Simply make the decision. But emotions, like you got to kind of train that. Like you mentioned the surfing. Yeah. Like try to throw someone in me. You know me. I have a snowboarding background, so kind of the same deal. Throw them on a wave, bro. They're gonna be flipping out. Yeah. They're gonna be fighting the wave all day. Yeah. Even going. I'm teaching my son to go under the wave. Right. When they get big, it doesn't matter how big the wave is. You go under. No factor. But people don't be like, hey, the wave's going to smash me. Why would I go down there and get smashed? It's like that's the intuitive thing or whatever. But the more you do it, the more you're like, oh, here comes a big wave. Oh, my automatic thing is to go underneath, right? After you train or if you have that experience for a while. But emotion is kind of that same thing where, especially if you can detach, word I learned. If you can detach and really identify, oh, I'm feeling this emotion right now, then, bro, it creates that perfect filter of emotions and behavior. You can still feel it. Yeah. Bro, try get not enough sleep and deal with like a 5-year-old who's determined doing something. Bro, that'll be the test. And I've done that. I say that because I've done that before. And I've found myself, I'm feeling super frustrated with this kid right now. Super frustrated. Yeah. But I'm identifying, I can like see it almost like from a detached, and I'm like, I won't flip out on him because like I'm not gonna make the decision right now to flip out on him. It's like perfect. It's that perfect filter, you know. But yeah, you got to train that though, because let's face it, if you're one of these people who flips out all the time and you don't like mentally address it, you're just gonna flip out all the time. That's just how.
Yeah. And there's adults that flip out.
Yes, sir. There is.
It's freaking terrible.
There is.
And what's really terrible is, if I get angry, if you and I work together and when something's not going my way, I get angry and you just kind of like back down because you don't want the drama.
Yeah.
I guess what I just learned.
That works.
My anger is good. My temper is good. Yeah. Or if you're, if I got my wife and I see that every time I get sad, she kind of like doesn't want me to be sad. So she kind of capitulates to my ideas. Now all of a sudden I'm getting reinforced that my little emotions will help me win.
Bro, that's such a
or your wife
advice.
can do that to you. Instead of just being like, okay, these are just emotions. We're not gonna deal in emotions.
Yeah.
Look, and this doesn't mean you can ignore emotions. If your wife's sad about something, you can be like, hey, quit getting emotional. Right? Doesn't work. But no, put them in the calculus, but don't let them be the main force behind your decisions. Not going to go good. I mean, it's as simple as like when you go to the grocery store when you're really hungry.
Yes.
Dude, you're making all kinds of emotional decisions. You come out of there, you got freaking all kinds of food. I just went up on a trip and we were going to be on the house. We were going to be in this house for like 4 days. Yeah. And we left early in the morning and then we drove and blah, blah, blah. And by the time we stopped at the grocery store, I was catabolic. You know what I mean? Like I was in there buying we had enough food for a month. Not real, but we probably had enough food for 2 weeks. Yeah. And we were in the house for 5 days. Yeah. At the end, I was like, dude, I'm an idiot. As a matter of fact, as soon as I ate, we got to the house, I ate, and I was like, dude, how am I going to eat all this? I've been eating that mozzarella with the freaking
pepperoni.
Mozzarella. Fresh mozzarella with basil.
Oh yeah, the tomato and the oil.
And I don't like the tomato, but I put the oil and the balsamic vinegar on it. And I got like so much of that. I had enough for weeks.
Oh yeah.
And I think I had one serving of it. So that's emotional decision. It's funny because everyone knows that, but until right now, it's emotional decision. It's also the animalistic drive. You're like, food. Yeah. I need as much as I can. I need to hoard as much as I can. Yeah. Making bad decisions.
Yep. Did you get chips?
No.
I feel like chips always sneak in there when you're hungry. Are you not into chips?
No. I'm definitely. I'll eat chips. I mean, chips taste delicious. Let me say that.
Bro, it's so true. When you're like, right when you eat something, you immediately figure out all the dumb stuff you just bought. It's so true, bro. It's so true.
Yeah, we got to the house, unpacked. And you know what the thing is? If I would have had a milk just before I walked in there, I'd have been good to go.
Bro, it helps.
Been good to go. Didn't do it.
Bro, Girl Scout cookies, those peanut butter ones. Oh, yeah, no problem. I eat the whole box. No problem.
There's no factor.
No factor.
Have a milk. Intervene. So there you go. That's kind of a combination, animalistic, emotions, the whole 9 yards. Next one, peer pressure. We kind of brought this up already. You will do some dumb shit because of peer pressure. Hey, like you said, sure, there's the peer pressure that's like, come on, what are you, a wimp? There's that. There's also the subliminal peer pressure where everyone's doing what's happening and they're kind of giving you just a look. They're not even saying anything. They're just looking at you. Mm-hmm. That peer pressure can make you do some dumb shit. Yeah. Lack of confidence makes you more susceptible to peer pressure. The other thing that you got to remember with peer pressure is you think everyone's looking at you. Yeah. They're actually not. It's actually not that big of a deal, right? You think like, oh, everyone's watching me. Everyone's going to wonder if I'm going to smoke this or I'm going to do this. Actually, no one really cares. And the other thing is, there's a level of respect when you hold a line and you have the confidence to be like, no, I'm not doing that tonight. It's not, I'm not doing that. Stupid. Yeah. Maybe you don't have to say I'm stupid because now you're getting in an argument, you're causing problems, but just be like, no, I don't, no, I don't drink. Yeah. No, I'm not drinking tonight. Yeah. They like the crabs in the bucket, though. Mm-hmm. They like to drag you in there. They like to put that drink in your hand.
Do you remember the first time you tried drinking?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
but not really specifically.
Yeah.
I'd have to think through that.
The first time I tried to drink I think as a kid, I'd like try a sip of beer. What does that taste like? But I remember the first time I like took a drink, you know, like it was like straight up peer pressure. I didn't start drinking, but it was straight up like there was like two guys, they snuck in, which is weird because our school was pretty like good. It was a tame school, but they snuck in a thing of Crown Royal. I remember because it had that bag on it. Yeah. And they were like, "Oh, come." And one guy was 1 year younger than me. Two guys were 1 year older than me. And they were like, "Oh yeah, here." And they're drinking. And I was just sort of there because they were my friends, but I didn't drink. I didn't want to drink nothing. Like it didn't affect me at all. And they were like, here, you want some? And I was like, no, thanks. And everyone knew that I wasn't into drinking or whatever. And they go, "Oh yeah, that's okay." And then I looked over. I remember this guy's name is Owen. He looked at me. I don't think he even meant to. He looked at me kind of like, "Oh, like, dang, like that's okay. It's okay." Like almost like he felt sorry for me, you know? Like, you look stupid right now, but it's okay. It's okay. You know, kind of like almost like he felt sorry for me. But it was full on like almost like unintended peer pressure. So he like gave me this, and I kind of looked up to him because he could bench a lot and stuff like that. And then so I was like, "Oh, give me it, I'll try it," or whatever. And I like tried it. He's like, "Oh, it's warmer," and he was happy after that, you know. So I was like, that was full on. That's what 100%. That's what that was.
Yeah, I didn't start drinking until I got in the teams, and for me, it wasn't like I kind of made a conscious decision, like, "Oh, that's kind of what we're doing." Okay, I was okay. That's what's happening.
Yeah,
that's what we do.
So,
cool.
So technically, that's peer pressure too, boy.
Yeah. But it wasn't like it wasn't this overt thing like, "Come on, Jocko, you need to." No one said that to me. I was like, "Okay, looks like we're drinking. I've never really done this before, so let's rock and roll."
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Okay, oh, we're going hard. Cool.
Yeah.
Pass me another one." That kind of thing. My son was a little kid. I'm talking like maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Probably 5, like little. And, you know, I had a couple of the boys over, whatever, we were having some beers.
Hell yeah.
And my son was like, you know, he kind of like he wanted to try some. And I was like, cool, I'll teach him not to drink right now because, you know, beer doesn't taste good to a little kid. So I hand him a freaking Rolling Rock, and he like takes a sip. And then just like within 2 seconds, just start trying to chug the whole thing. Like he took a sip, calculated, and then just boom, like right back up and starts trying to grab it away from him. Like, dude, what are you doing? I did not expect him to freaking go hard like that. Yeah, like a little kid.
Yeah.
There's a dude on Instagram that he's an Australian dude, and he just drinks beer. He does this technique where he like spins it.
Swirl it.
Yeah. And he just chugs beer. That's his whole thing.
Yeah, there's a few of those. Yeah, that's crazy town right there.
Should be in the morning. It could be in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It could be in the evening. He's just gonna slay a beer. I forget his name.
Watch out.
But he cracks me up.
That's another form of peer pressure right there.
For him? For what? For us?
So, actually, that technically it's not peer pressure, right? But it's like influence. It's like bad influence, you know? It's like, that's fun. It's fun. It's lighthearted. It's not that big of a deal. It's quirky. It's, you know, it's fun. It's not like, remember the group? It was, I'm pretty sure it was just anti-smoking, but they would call themselves like Truth. It would say Truth at the end. It was like a bunch of anti-smoking ads.
Oh, yeah,
and they'd do these crazy, real morbid stunts.
Yep,
they'd lay out a bunch of what looked like dead bodies and be like, this is how many people you're killing every year, and it's all these body bags. Anyway, they do that kind of. It's not like it was that. It's that this Australian guy's making it fun. Yeah, kind of like, hey, like that. That's the kind of behavior that elicits like copycat behavior. You know, like let me do it. You know,
so it's like he looks like he's having a good time.
Good old time.
Yeah,
it is kind of cool. Like because I've seen some guys in real life do that kind of stuff, and it's like, oh damn, it's pretty interesting.
And he's got, you know, he's kind of got the attitude that just makes it sound like he's having a good time.
Yeah, that's real.
So that's peer pressure, though.
Yeah, but wait, you're back to the teams.
Yeah,
that is peer pressure because you know, like you even said this, where peer pressure can be good if it's for good stuff. Yeah, you know, sure. So that's like
there's
almost
peer pressure in the teams. That's good.
Yeah,
they're like, dude, what do you? You're not, you know. Oh, I was also like, oh, we're running, like we're working out, like okay, that's what we're doing. Cool. Yeah. Oh, we're drinking. Cool. I was just on board for what we were doing. Like, bro, whatever was happening, I was on board. I wanted to be doing what we're doing,
bro. 100%. Look, bro, today. We trained today. You know, it was some good training today. It was the, you know, So Vic texts me, or I talked to him on the phone like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, we're going to train on Friday too. I was like, oh yeah, cool. Maybe put it on the radar, you know? And then he's like, oh, you're not going to come or whatever, all this stuff. So I'm like, no. I said, hey, maybe, you know, boom, peer pressure. That's number one. That's one step closer to the persuasion. He said, I'm going to text you tomorrow as a reminder. He does. Step two, because he told me, text me. Now, if I don't show, I made a decision. Yeah. I didn't just forget about it like I do all the time. So
what was the closer?
Bro, we know what the closer is. You, and this is actually the most influence, I even told him this today, where when you text, you'll put like, sometimes you'll offer up some training. And I'll be, bro, if I'm into something, I'll be like, hey, I'm going to catch you next time or whatever. But sometimes you'll put, hey, we're going to record after we, capital We, train. You can't not go. At that point, it's like, hey, you got to shuffle some things around. I had plans to do squats.
Yeah. So you didn't do squats. Why didn't you do squats before, prior to?
Because I trained.
You're going to do squats after?
Maybe I'll do squats tonight. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow.
Because I will say, I'm very, very excessively thankful that I worked out this morning, and I don't have to go home and work out. Yeah. Because that session that we just did, first of all, I was not having a good day. You know what I mean?
Hard day.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to go. Yeah. You know, I didn't want to go. Yeah. I didn't want to go. If there was a little bell to ring, I would have been like, "Whoa, what's that?" You know. Of course, I'm not ringing it, but I didn't want to go. So I know I'm already. So that's already going in there. Like you already are. You know, you're gonna be hurting. Yeah. And then, you know, that mat right there, you're not having any easy rounds at all. Zero easy rounds. You're not really even going to have an easy 28 seconds. Yeah. You're not going to have an easy minute and a half. Yeah. Even when you're in between rounds, you're like breathing.
Yeah. You're focusing on recovery.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that peer pressure can be a good thing.
Yeah.
It can also make you do some dumb shit.
Exactly right. So peer pressure technically is like, that's not the bad guy in the scenario. It's the dumb shit. That's the bad guy.
Jack, right along in there is groupthink. Right. This is peer pressure, but it's like amplified peer pressure is groupthink. This is where in a mob, this is somebody starts breaking shit and you start breaking shit too. You start doing dumb shit. Yep. Making decisions based on what everybody else is doing, bad. Then there's this whole genre of just doing impulsive things, and this is sort of a result of a bunch of different things that are happening, right? Some people are genetically impulsive, by the way. Yeah. People have genetic impulsiveness. Sometimes it's based on what's going on inside your brain as far as a brain chemistry type scenario. Like dopamine can make you impulsive to get a little bit more dopamine right now, even though you know it's not smart. Yeah. I mean, look, that's what's taking over our minds right now with the people that are on their social media on their phones. That's just dopamine. They know they're just impulsively swiping. Yeah. Their brain is not even thinking about what's happening. They're just looking to the next freaking reel, or whatever. So that impulsiveness is, and you know, some people have more self-control. Look. I believe just like all of our traits, there's a certain amount of self-control that you have. You can improve it or you can let it get worse. But I recommend you try and improve it. I recommend you pause for 7 seconds
Stop and
before you do something impulsive. You know what's funny is when people impulsively buy. You ever said someone say there's an impulsive buy?
Of course, impulse buy. Bro, that's the whole thing.
That's a thing.
Bro, yeah, well, you know, the supermarket is set up where that's part of the funnel. It's a funnel.
You get to the counter. There's a freaking chocolate bar.
Impulse buy all day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They put little things that are going to give you immediate gratification. Like you're going to get something you're going to get to eat in 9 more seconds. Yeah. Yep. Throw it in the register. Yep. Throw it in the self-checkout. Beep, beep.
Impulse buy, bro.
So isn't that crazy that you can make dumb decisions? You can do dumb shit because you're just being impulsive. Yeah. What's the biggest impulse buy you've ever made?
Biggest? Oh, man, I don't know.
Vehicle?
No.
House?
Thankfully, I'm very what's the opposite of impulsive? Not impulsive.
Pragmatic. Deliberate.
I'm pretty deliberate with the buy stuff. Yeah. With the exception of the freaking Reese's sticks. You ever ate that before? They're kind of like, you know what Kit Kats are? You know Kit Kat, right? So it's like a Kit Kat, but a big, beefy version of Kit Kat with peanut butter. too. So this chocolate and peanut butter.
I don't know if that Kit Kat, especially think about Kit Kats. I used to have them in the summertime from the concession stand, and they were kept in a fridge. So they were cool.
Bro, if you like Kit Kat, but you gotta like peanut butter too.
I
so
do
you know
like peanut
Reese's, but is that like your jammy jam?
No, I'm saying for me a Kit Kat, just a cool Kit Kat in the summertime.
Yeah.
I don't need the peanut butter. Peanut butter is a warm thing to me. Peanut butter provides warmth. Different.
Yeah, to me, and look, I'm not advocating for this because I'm just talking about impulse buys straight up. So reflecting on that. That being said, the Reese's Sticks to me is the best candy bar ever created. Like kind of by far too. Like a distant maybe second is like a Butterfinger scenario or like
I'll have to look into it.
Yeah, it's called Reese's Sticks.
Reese's Sticks. I know I've bought some impulsive things before, and just been like, dude, I'm not smart. I can't think of any though. I'm gonna have to think about this one.
Actually, I did have an impulse buy, but it turned out.
What
good.
was it?
A red camera, the red V-Raptor that I have. One? No,
the new one.
Yeah, the white one that I have, the V-Raptor.
Oh,
yeah. Is right when it came. So when you buy a red camera, they're good cameras, obviously. So
they're expensive.
They're expensive, yes.
They're way more expensive. If you don't know anything about this, if you told them how much it costs, people would be like, "What in God's name are you talking about?"
Yeah.
This isn't like $1,700.
No.
This is a totally different scenario.
Yeah, So, yeah, they are. They cost more than your average car.
How much is it? I mean, just to save people having to Google and look this up, how much is a red camera Raptor, whatever you're talking about?
V-Raptor, just for the body, which it's $29 or $24.99. $24,999.
So $25,000
for just the body, though.
No batteries.
No lens, no viewfinder, no monitor, nothing. Just the body. So you can't even use it.
Yeah.
You got to buy lenses, and it only fits cinema lenses with a full frame. Like it's a whole thing, and those tend to be a lot more expensive as well.
This is $100,000 scenario
for the kit. No, for the V-Raptor, and they're way less expensive than they were at the camera I bought before that. But now they're cheaper because they push them out, I think, more efficiently or whatever. But all in, it was like probably for that kit that I have to, that particular one is probably like 40, almost 40, like 36, 38.
And that was an impulse buy.
That was an impulse buy. And this is why I know. So, no, I won't go too deep into it. But when you buy red cameras, you're part of like
a club.
For lack of a better term. So, when I got the first one way back in the day, the red one, for people who know cameras are going to remember the red one. It's literally, it weighs like 20 pounds. It's like a cast iron freaking thing. Was that with the podcast? I did the Good video. Remember Good?
Yeah.
That was like episode 5. I did that with the red one.
So that was the first one you bought?
First one I bought.
Damn,
the only reason and that was $25,000 for the body too. This was back in the day. Here's the thing. I didn't get it for $25,000. The reason I got it, they were getting rid of it. They're discontinuing it. This is the least practical camera probably I've ever even touched with my bare hands. So it's cast iron, there's no, it's really hard to use, but it's a red, and they're getting rid of them, and they're offering certain people on their list or whatever list I was on, the opportunity to buy them. No, I was part of like some forum, and so you could buy it for $4,000 because they're getting rid of them.
Dang.
Yeah. So I didn't know how to use it, never used it before. I was just like, I know it's a deal, so I got it. And I just freaking spent the next 3 months saving up money to get the accessories to be able to use it. Finally be able to use it for however many years. And then they offered to trade it for the new Helium 8K. You heard of 4K, this is 8K, whatever. Trade it in, you can get a big discount on this thing. I was like, frick, but it's only to a certain amount of people. So that technically was an impulse buy too. So anyway, this is how Red does it.
They know how to capitalize on your impulse.
In a nutshell, yes, exactly right. In a nutshell, if you're a Red
your
owner,
emotions too, because they're like, hey, this is only going to be an offer right now. Yeah. They capitalize on this stuff.
We don't have that many. That's the thing. It's new. We don't have that many. So they contact, once you're in the Red ecosystem, as far as the owner.
They get your ego working.
Yep.
They get your emotions working.
Yep.
They get your animalistic competitiveness working. Yep. Competitiveness is we didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
You'll do some dumb shit just from being competitive.
Yep. Oh, yeah. And that was exactly right. Where I had the Red Helium, and they were like, hey, you're on our list. We're coming out with this thing called the V-Raptor, and I heard about it already, and all these, all this tech. It was like, man, if you have that one, that's it. No one else has it. Only the people on it. So it was like me. There were, I don't know how many people were on the list, but like Jason, Jason Momoa.
Yeah,
like he was on the list. Like, so I felt like,
damn, dude.
Bro, it was, if you got the white one, you're one of the first people to
How
get it.
many do you think they made?
I don't know.
Do they have a serial number on it? Do they number them?
Yeah, I have it. Well, when you insure it, you have the serial number or whatever. But when you know that going in, they're like, hey, you don't have to buy it. You can, if we choose to continue making these, you can wait till then. Oh yeah, for sure.
Dude, you got played.
Oh yeah, Victor. But thankfully, like when I got it, it was all that everyone was expecting it to be, and we put it together, and it's legit.
It's worth it.
The reason that I shouldn't have done it though is because I bought what's called the Monstro. That's the really expensive one at the time. I bought that like literally 2 months before. So I got 3 Red cameras, like literally right now. I have 3. I have that original Helium 8K, got the Monstro, and then the V-Raptor. Hey, full-fledged production over here.
Not bad to record a podcast.
No, it's very unrealistic.
No, I know. They're freaking crazy.
Yeah, but that was Impulsive.
Yeah, if you're wondering, this is not recorded on the Red camera because it would be just like crazy amount of data.
Oh yeah, you'd have over a terabyte of stuff just for the podcast. Yeah, it's bad.
All right, so watch your impulsiveness. It'll make you do dumb things. We do the dumb things. Just some technical ones here. Time pressure. There's another thing they threw in the mix on you. Yeah. Like, hey, there's only a certain amount of time. Yeah. So we do dumb things because we don't have the time. Yeah. So you have to pay attention to that. You have to stay ahead of the power curve. You have to not put yourself into situations where you're going to do dumb shit because you didn't have time to do it the right way. There's a couple here that are sort of, well, I guess these two kind of connect as I was thinking through them. People do dumb shit because they lack experience or they lack information. These are both a little bit harder to control yourself because it's the classic you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
It's so you actually really truly don't know. The best you can do to cover the bases and mitigate these is to know that you don't know. To know that there's things that you don't know. To not be like, I got this. I can figure this out. To put yourself in that situation, you should be more humble. I think humility is what helps you with these two. When you don't have the experience, it's like the person that shows up for the jiu-jitsu that like is a street fighter. Yeah. And they're like, bro, they look at some skinny freaking 150-pound dude and they're like, bro, I'm going to beat this guy's ass. Yeah. And they just literally don't have the experience. Yeah. And they don't have the information. So the solution for that to me is humility. It's actually saying, hey, I'm not so sure about this. You should never look at anything and think, it looks pretty easy. Yeah. And no, you should think like, well, there's some things I don't see there. Mm-hmm. There's some information that I don't have. Yeah. That should be your go-to default mode. Yeah. Is I'm not 100% sure, and I'm gonna keep my eyes open as I try and figure this out. Yeah. Otherwise, you might do some dumb shit.
You know about plumbing, obviously.
Yes, I do.
So I was talking to Keenan about this very thing today. So I don't know anything.
Why the hell were you talking about freaking plumbing with Keenan?
Yeah, it's a thing.
Why don't you talk about jiu-jitsu?
I do talk about jiu-jitsu from time to time.
Plumbing, go.
So I had an issue with a toilet in my household.
Okay.
And it was like a thing where something had worn out or whatever, and so I'm like,
flapper valve,
something. It was like the thing that connected the I want to say the flush valve.
Okay.
You see, I know all these terms now because I looked into it. But this is a classic case of me not knowing what I don't know. So I go in, I'm like, I'm going to look it up on YouTube like I solved many of my problems in my life and, figure it out. So I look it up on YouTube and it's like, boom, you got the diagram, you got a guy do this or whatever. And I'm like, cool. I even looked it up just on the internet, like a diagram. So I'm like, cool, I understand how this whole thing works now, right? So I go in and of course it doesn't like work out. The thing's just as broken as it ever was. I don't know what material. So I'm like, all right, let me just study this whole thing. So I go back to YouTube, keep watching it. So I found this channel. I wish I could tell you which one it was, but it was one of these like kind of bigger channels. It could have been like a Home Depot channel or something. I don't know if it was or not. I forget. But so the guy goes into it, and it's this long ass video, and I'm about to skip it because I need to solve it right now. You see what I'm saying? But I'm like, no, let me just commit some time. So I commit the time, and he starts talking about all these issues that can arise when you're just trying to fix this one issue. So he talks about like his experience with certain times where he had to fix this issue. So this one time I was still having this problem, so I had to go back over here because sometimes these are made like this, and he's doing all this. He's basically giving me like his personal experience on this thing, and for every additional thing that he would say, he demonstrated to me how much I don't know. And how much it's not just like, hey, you're gonna go in and he's gonna tell me how to do it. And
so what was the outcome?
I ended up fixing it. It's a longer story and it doesn't matter. But that was me not knowing what I don't know.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I wasn't about to take apart my whole toilet because that was one of the.
Luckily, you were humble enough to recognize that there could be some shit going sideways.
Yeah.
Literally.
Before I made any. Exactly right. Like before I made like a big commitment to, because one of the options that I came across in my haste was take out the whole toilet and just replace the whole toilet. But obviously I didn't have to do that. But
we're not looking to do that.
Yeah, not knowing what you don't know can cause you to do that kind of dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's like, that's the option because that's the first advice I got or whatever. Because in my mind, that's the only advice that I've ever heard.
Yeah.
So do it.
Yep. The humility will help you with your lack of experience and your lack of information in life. And it's just really good to remember because you don't know what you don't know. And so you think you know, and you don't. And right in there, too, is another one similar is lack of self-awareness. Right? You're just not self-aware. So you're doing dumb shit because you're not self-aware. You think people can't see the dumb things that you're doing. You think you're outmaneuvering people. All those things stem from the fact that you're not self-aware. So how do we gain self-awareness? Number one, if you think you're super self-aware, you're probably not. You're probably not. So take a step back, detach. That's what we have to do there. I had to throw this one in there because it does happen. Physical and mental fatigue, right? Sleep deprivation, like all those. When you get tired, you can do some dumb shit. That's what can happen. And people make bad decisions when they're physically tired. People make bad decisions when they're mentally tired, and they just break down. Have you ever watched True Detective?
Yes, but not very much.
Okay. There's this part in True Detective. It's really good. The second one got a bunch of bad reviews, so I didn't watch it. But the first one's freaking great.
Woody?
No.
McConaughey.
Yes. Matthew McConaughey plays this badass character. And he's talking about he's a detective. He's talking to some other detectives that are investigating him, and he's talking about how he's looking at dead bodies, like photographs of dead bodies over and over and over again. He's seen all these dead bodies over his time in the police force, and he says it's great. You got to watch it. But he's talking about how when you look at these pictures, these dead people, you can see that just before they died, they saw for a moment how easy it would be if they just let it go. Like at that moment of death, they go, you know what? It's over. And he goes on this big thing about they realize that all the love and all the hate and all the things were a dream that you had inside a lockbox, blah, blah, blah. He goes through this thing. But that's an extreme example of what happens when people just break. They just break from fatigue, right? They just break. They just can't take it anymore. And they just go, you know what, I'm done. That's one thing. That's like the ultimate bad decision that you make is like, oh, I just give up. But there's all kinds of bad decisions that you can make based on the fact that you're tired. But sometimes it's not mentally breaking. Sometimes you're just not thinking straight. I don't know if you've ever been around people they're legitimately, they're so tired they're not thinking straight. You get people that have been seriously sleep deprived. They might be doing some dumb shit. So I had to throw that one in there. Physical and mental fatigue can definitely make people make bad decisions. And now we're going to open up a big can. Something you and I have talked about on the Underground podcast quite a bit, which is cognitive biases. And people have a bunch of different cognitive biases, and they will make you do dumb shit. So confirmation bias, when you have a belief You're looking to confirm that belief, and you will absorb the information that's going to support your decision. And you're going to do some dumb shit because you just are listening to the people that are telling you that it's smart. You can find, for instance, like let's say you don't like to run. You can go find a bunch of articles right now that'll be like, you can actually find running is bad for you.
Yeah.
You can find enough articles that'll confirm that you're right, running is bad for you.
Yeah, that's true.
Lifting heavy.
Yeah.
You don't really like to lift heavy? Cool. You can go find a bunch of articles that injury prone and fucking blah, 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 stiffness and blah, blah. You can find it. So you will make bad decisions based on the fact that you have confirmation bias. Availability bias, a similar one. This is like you act based on the most recent information or the most available information. This is why, when you Google something, you're like, what's the best knife to buy? There's people that are paying to make the most available click the one that comes up first. Somebody paid for that. And so therefore, it looks like this is the best knife. Came up, there it is. Boom. Anchoring bias. This is when you get addicted or you rely on the first piece of information that you have.
That's why first impressions are so important.
First impressions, very important. This is something I used to see in the SEAL teams, which was whatever the first way someone learned to do something is the way they thought was correct. Yeah. And it was really hard to change people's minds around a new procedure if they had learned in their first platoon, this is how you do it. Mm-hmm. So you've got to be careful that piece of information that you got first. And the same thing, this is like, I think we talked about this when we talked about negotiation, right? You can use anchoring to offset somebody. Yeah. I can use it to mess you up. I can give you a low ball offer that you're now anchored to, and you're like, geez, Jocko offered me $7 for this knife. I thought it was worth $700. Yeah. And I'm like, I'll give you $7 for it. And all of a sudden, when I offer you $50, you're like, I'll take it.
Yeah.
So be careful. That hindsight bias, the tendency to believe that an event was more predictable or obvious than it actually was after it occurred. I knew he was going to win that fight, right?
Yeah.
I knew he was going to win that fight. I'll tell you what. I think I'm pretty good at, when it comes to MMA, bro, it's almost like all bets are off. Like it's almost like I just look at it like I just don't think I can predict what's going to happen. And this is for a reason. There's been fights that have happened where I was like, this is 100%. This is a done deal. Yeah. Although I did it the other night. Did you watch the fights the other night?
Yes.
Yeah. Watching Valentina get beat. The announcer, John Anik, said what was the other girl's name?
I don't know.
Yeah. She came out of nowhere. Props to her. She's a badass. John Anik says, and she's got much improved jiu-jitsu. And I'm like, bro, that's what you're bragging about? That she has, and she ends up with a rear naked choke victory over Bullet Valentina. Amazing. I don't fall into this trap though. But I did that night. I was like, dude, this is good luck against, you got improving jiu-jitsu and then she got a rear naked choke. But I immediately was like, dude, I'm an idiot. I'm not saying anything else. Yeah. If I would have bet, and there's been a couple times in my life where I did bet actual money on fights and I was wrong. And things that I was like, this is a done deal. Yeah. This is a done deal. And just been wrong. But I'm certainly not a person that gets done and says, yeah, I knew that was going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
So be careful of that hindsight bias, framing bias. This is the way information is presented or framed. So if a doctor says this has a 90% success rate, that sounds better to them than saying, hey, if I do surgery on your arm, it's 90% going to heal. You'd be like, oh, okay, cool. If I say, hey, if I do surgery on your arm, 10% chance it doesn't work anymore. You're like, wait a second, what are you talking about? Yeah. I should just tell you 90%. That's the way it's framed to you. Yep. That can mess up that makes you do dumb shit.
Oh, yeah. So you ever watch Teen Wolf? Remember back in the day, Teen Wolf?
I never got into that. Was that a TV show or was it a movie?
Movie. Okay. Then they did a TV show later, but I'm talking about the movie, the original.
This is Michael J. Fox.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So he had a basketball coach named Bobby Finstock.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best characters ever created, in my opinion. But super like just checked out coach, just so used to his tradition of losing. He's like, Anyway, he had a famous like pre-game speech. He's there like, "Hey, coach, you got any inspiring words or whatever?" He said. He's like, yeah. Hey, you guys have nothing to be ashamed of. Go out there and do your best. That's what he said. So it's like, of course, like the facts are nothing to be ashamed of. Do your best. Like that's all factually true. But how he framed it was like, you guys already, or we all have like things on our mind that we're ashamed of, about this team, which, they were a losing team, so whatever. But how he framed it was like, you guys already lost, you got nothing to be ashamed of, kind of a thing. That's that framing bias.
In Teen Wolf, does the guy turn into a wolf on the basketball court?
Yeah.
And they like let him play?
Yeah, and he's all good at it. Yeah, he mutates or whatever. Yeah. And then he's all good. He can dunk and stuff. And then he turns super popular in school. Girls are attracted to him for some reason.
Even though he's literally he's like hairy.
Yeah, he's half wolf, werewolf, whatever.
Check.
It's a fun movie though.
Some things that'll make you do dumb shit bias-wise. Overconfidence bias. Clear what that is. And there's also underconfidence bias, right? Like, you don't think you can do it. Well, you're probably not going to make a good decision. If you've got an opportunity to do something, you're like, I could never do that. Cool. Then you don't do it. And now you don't get the win. Or overconfidence, I could do this no problem. Make your decision and you end up looking like a jackass. Yeah. So be careful of that sunk cost fallacy. These are all kind of ones that we know about. Gambler's fallacy. The belief that past events influence the likelihood of future events, even when the two events are unrelated. For example, believing that a coin toss is more likely to land on heads if it has landed on tails several times in a row. That'll get you. It's still a 50-50 chance, man. Yeah. Oddly enough, it's still just a 50-50 chance.
Yeah, that's a weird...
It doesn't seem like it is, but it is.
That's one of those... most cognitive biases fall into this, but you kind of got to train yourself in a way. And, like, you have to be super aware. Because that one, in particular, just like how you mentioned, it doesn't feel like it. And that one's really hard to, like, believe at first. Especially when you're, like... Because there's ways to look at it.
Yeah.
Because... So if you're like, hey, I have this coin, and I'm going to flip it 10 times in a row, it's going to land on heads. That's a different set of odds right there than you actually flipping it and then it happens to go on heads 9 times in a row. And then the likelihood of it landing on heads again is still 50-50. Mm-hmm. But before you flip any of the coins ever and you say, I'm going to flip it 10 times in a row, then you got a different set of odds. And it's crazy. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? So some people, and I'm one of these people because I thought I had roulette figured out.
Like, I was about to bring up roulette.
Like many people. Where I thought that. I was like, because I was thinking of it like before any rolls have done. So I was like, hey, if I get, I'm going to bet on red or black or whatever, and I'm going to just keep betting on that red. Because the chances of it landing on red, like however many times in a row, becomes smaller and smaller and smaller exponentially. Mm. So I'm guaranteed to win at least my money back. So it's like a foolproof system. Mm. See what I'm saying?
You figured it out.
Yeah, that's what I figured. And
that's when it hits green. You're like, oh.
Well, after every roll, the odds go back to what they were in the beginning. So technically, yes, that's true. But as you start rolling, it's different. Did
you do the thing where you like double your money that you're betting, and you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I never did it.
Yeah,
I never played. I mean, I never did my system. I just thought I had
so basically
it
you can do like, I bet $1 on black.
Right.
If I lose, I put $2 on black. Yeah. If I lose again, I put $4 on black.
Right.
If I lose again, I'll put $8 on black.
Yeah, that was the system, essentially.
It's not going to work out.
I never tried it out.
What's weird, what makes it not work out is not only that it resets, but there's also the two aughts, the two greens on there. Oh, it ain't 50-50, bro. 50-50. It's not.
Yeah.
It'll catch you. Let's see. Halo effect. This is like when you judge people's overall characteristics based on one characteristic. Like, that'll make you make bad decisions.
Oh, yeah.
Illusion of control. This is we think we have more ability to control things than we actually do. That's going to make you do some dumb shit. Negativity bias and optimism bias. These two are, just what they sound, right? If you have a negative attitude, well, if you will lean in that direction, and you might make bad decisions because of it. So there you go. There's a bunch of biases, cognitive biases that you can that pay into us making bad decisions. And look, there's a bunch of these. The last one I will say to cover today, and this is one that I think Echo Charles, this has had the biggest impact on your life since you and I started hanging out and discussing all these topics, and that is short-term thinking versus long-term thinking, strategic thinking versus tactical thinking. Anytime you consider what the long-term outcome is going to be, you will make a smarter decision than if you just focus on what I'm going to feel like or how I'm going to be gratified in the next 7 minutes.
Yep. Yes, sir.
That will lead you to doing dumb shit. So think strategic. Think about the long term with all decisions that you make, and you will do a better job making better decisions. So there you go. This is my list, some examples of some of the many, many things that there are that drive us to make bad decisions, that drive us to do dumb shit. And I also think you need to think about this. What kind of person are you? You have to know what kind of person you are. You have to know what kind of person you are. You have to know what tendencies you have, because you have tendencies. I have tendencies. And if you start applying these various subjects, these various examples, these various factors that can make you make bad decisions, you're going to know that there's some of these things you're more susceptible to. Maybe you're more susceptible to your animalistic behavior. Maybe you're more susceptible to your ego getting out of control. Maybe you're more susceptible to some of these cognitive biases that we're talking about. But knowing who you are so that you can watch out and you can lean in the other direction to make sure you make better decision is also an important part of making good decisions. So know what kind of person you are, and don't let your tendencies get the best of you. So the way that you can kind of make that happen is by detaching. And one of the easiest ways to detach is to take a step back and write things down. I'm just saying, when you write things down, you are detached from them. You can see other perspectives. Ask yourself, what would, if I was someone else right now and I was looking at me and I was about to do this thing, what would I tell myself? Mm-hmm. No, I can afford this vehicle. It's a car I've always wanted. It's my dream car. Well, your payments are going to be $1,700 a month. Well, I know, but it's going to make me really feel good about myself. And also clients are going to see me in this car and they'll know that I'm a player. Like, yeah, but you only make $4,000 a month. I know, but that's going to grow. It's like, what would you be telling yourself? If you were talking to you, you'd probably be saying, hey man, let's go look at the Chevys. And write down what the long-term outcome is going to be versus what the short-term gratification you're going to get. And that will help you to do the right things and to make good decisions. Very powerful. Yep. Seems small.
Yeah, it seems almost too simple, right? Oh, that's the solution to improve my life. Probably like 75 to 85%.
Yeah. No, it's a big number.
In any given,
big percentage. Any given endeavor.
Yeah.
But most of all, in the big game,
yeah.
In the big game, in the life game, yeah. If you can not do dumb shit, you can be way better off.
Yeah.
Seems so easy.
How about this? I would even say this. This is how powerful every one of these is. If you just took, I don't know, let's say the first one and the last one, we'll say. Mm-hmm. First one, alcohol. Mm-hmm. So Carrie, K-Dog, we all know him, love him. Mm-hmm. Because he doesn't drink, he quit drinking. Mm-hmm. So he put it in a way where I was like, that's a really impactful way to put it. Even though we knew the idea, but he put it, this is what he said. He said, well, after a while, like, you get in trouble when... He's talking about himself. He's like, I get in trouble when I drink, and I get myself in trouble when I drink, versus, I don't drink, and every single aspect of my life just gets better and better and better and doesn't stop. Yeah. It's a more logical decision not to drink. Because I think I was asking him, I was like, that's cool, you don't drink. So I was like, what, you don't drink at all? I was like, why are you like, you think you'll just relapse and go cause trouble? He was like, no, it's not necessarily that. And then he said, that's what he said, where it's like my life gets better. keeps getting better and better and better and better and does not stop. That's what he said.
Little decisions.
It's true.
Stack them up.
So you stack that onto what the last one was, the short
Long
game
term,
versus long game. Like, think about that. Whereas, like, that's on your radar with every kind of move you're making it throughout your day. Oh man, no drinking, clear. Oh man, you'd be doing some good stuff.
No drinking, thinking long term.
Yep.
It's gonna move you in the right direction.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Hopefully this helps people out. And with that, we got to make a decision on what we're putting in our bodies, right?
Oh, yeah.
Fuel wise. I had a milk right when we got done training today.
Yes, sir. Me too.
So good.
Very nice.
It was earned.
Bro, I'm telling you, earned.
Did you do all rounds today? Did you take any breathers?
No, I took one round off, and then towards the end, when everyone was kind of done, there was no really like, hey, we're all done. That's what I felt.
It kind of faded.
So I took one round off aside from Sloan and them. I think kept going a couple times.
Yeah.
But no, I took one round off.
Yeah, it's a good time.
I felt that I earned my milk. The idea of no easy rounds.
Yeah.
You think like, oh yeah, sure, we're there to do jiu-jitsu. You're at rest between rounds or whatever. So it's like, to say it doesn't sound as impactful as it actually feels. Because when you have, like, let's face it, you're rolling in the mixed class or whatever, and this is not good, bad. This is the nature of rolling jiu-jitsu
and it's actually good what you're about to say.
Yeah.
Like, that's a good type of training.
Yeah.
In the class, you beat this guy up, you get a little bit swept, you got someone that's even, you're getting a bunch of different looks.
Yep, bunch of different looks and varying levels of output. But it's like, if you even want to do jiu-jitsu in the environment like this where everybody's black belt and kind of better black belts, your output has to be kind of at the top the whole time. Yeah. Otherwise, you're kind of not even doing jiu-jitsu. You're just being a dummy, like a jiu-jitsu dummy for the guy. Yeah, because everyone's so good. So you go through however many. You usually do like 10 rounds, right?
Did 10 rounds.
Usually, yeah. So let's say you do the 8 or 9 rounds of that, bro. It's like, it's way different than doing 10 rounds in the mixed class.
You need fuel.
You need that fuel, bro. You're gonna earn your milk.
Did you have a go on your way there?
I had a go on the way there.
I'll tell you what. I didn't want to train. Yeah. Like if it wasn't for the commitment. Yeah. Because I'm not. Obviously I'm showing up. Yeah.
Plus you kind of pressured me into it.
Yeah. So plus I pressured you
not to go.
But I had that go on the way. Just walked out of my house, grabbed a go, drank it on the way down here, finished it in the locker room. And by the time I got out on the mat, I was warm. I was like, yep, I can feel it. Yep. I'm ready to go. Attitude change. Yeah. My attitude changed.
Last time when I came and trained with you guys in this sesh, I didn't really feel like training, but this time I did. I did feel like training because, like I said, I got reminded of it. It was on the radar. I wasn't rushing doing other stuff. I was like, bro, I'm completely ready.
You need time, like, mentally to prepare.
Yeah, and I feel like, actually, no. Here's when I need mental time to prepare, when it's just me and you. Bro, it's true. It's true, bro. But like this kind, I don't, because like you, I always feel like I have like something to prove. Because like if you like really beat me up, I don't feel good. Like I feel like, oh, you're just gonna like hold it over me. Yeah. And then if I do good, I'm kind of like, I don't have to say nothing, but I can be like, yeah, what up or whatever kind of a thing. I feel like there's a little bit more at stake, or riding, we'll say. But this kind, I don't feel that for whatever reason. I feel like it's like, say, everyone's so cool too. Yeah. So my mind was kind of, put it this way, my thoughts and what I was doing throughout the day weren't interrupted by, okay, now I got to go train, And I'm like, frick, I was just thinking, I'm still thinking about this a little bit. Now I got to go train or whatever with these hard guys. I'm like, frick, my mind wasn't even there. But today I had time. Good. Today my mind was there. Good. Nonetheless, a lot of output. And yes, I had the go on the way down. Yeah. All good.
It's a go. Do it, then milk.
Then milk right
That's
after.
That's a good procedure for life.
You gotta try the super cold milk, bro. I'm telling you.
Okay.
You'd be happy.
Well, my wife makes this banana milk in the morning with the banana milk. Yeah. The powder. Man, she does a good job with that. Now she makes me like a little hitter. Because normally I don't like to eat that much in the morning. Yeah. And I'm talking this after. I'm talking this is like 9 o'clock.
Oh, after the workout.
After the workout, kind of she'll kind of like bring a little milk to me, and she's got hers in like a shaker. Yeah. But then she'll bring me a little glass.
Oh yeah, you're sophisticated.
It tastes so good, bro. It tastes so good.
I dig it.
So yeah, get yourself some go. Get yourself some milk, and you can get the stuff at jockofuel.com. That's where it's at, man. jockofuel.com. You can also get it at Vitamin Shop. You can get it at the military commissaries. I got a bunch of my friends hitting me up from the military commissary. They send me pictures. Which is like, yo.
Oh,
Hannaford, Dash Stores, HEB, Meijer, Wake Fern, ShopRite. Wawa, we're still in Wawa. Go grab some in Wawa. There's hostilities, man. In these convenience stores, there's hostilities, FYI. There's big companies, and I mean the biggest of companies, the biggest of beverage companies. They go in to these convenience stores and they buy those slots. They buy the shelf space. You know why they do that? Because they're threatened. It's a threat. We are a threat.
Yeah.
And we are like the rebels in the Star Wars, right? The empires are, look, the empires, if you're flying around, they don't really care.
Yeah.
Once you threaten them, they got to come, they got to fight.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing. So go into these convenience stores, clear the shelves, let them know what's up. It's us against the empires. The empires, by the way, are trying to poison you. We all know this.
Yeah.
They're doing evil things.
That's the crazy part about it. And you mentioned this on some, I don't know, one of your Instagram things where, you know, you can call it like these industry standard, like kind of, you know, oh yeah, it's just general advertisement or whatever. And you called it brainwashing. And I'm like, oh, Jocko being dramatic. But then I thought, I was like, wait a second, that's exactly what it 100%. Is. And, you know, they use some of this stuff where it's like, you know, framing bias, like all this, where, yeah, they'll say the good like parts of it. There can be like 3 good parts of something, short term, by the way. 3, and then there's like 12 bad parts of it, short and long term. 12. They won't say any of the 12, and they'll do it. And then they're like, here you go. Here's your little product. Drink as much of it as you want. In fact, let me put something in there to make you wanna drink as much of it as we want you to. Right? Knowing it's bad for you, knowing if you drink the more and more and more of this stuff you drink, the worse and worse and worse health you will have. Literally, that's not a metaphor. That's like literally the deal. So. Also, I learned this thing, and I don't want to speak too much into it, but I heard this thing. It's a girl on a podcast, and she was like, America has, so here, bear with me. This is just what I heard. America has this thing called single dose toxicity or something like this, where, and look into this, but keep this on your mind, where America's a thing as far as regulations go, single dose toxicity, meaning like if it's harmless in 1 dose, it's fine. It's admissible to be in your product. But you take 10 doses, the toxicity goes 10 times. It's no longer single dose technically, but that's not the rule. The rule isn't 10 doses. The rule is single dose toxicity. Yeah. So you get a energy drink, single dose toxicity. You get maybe you have some chips, or maybe you drink a soda for your thing, or maybe you're eating something that's not like all natural, whatever, which let's face it, you know, it's hard to navigate that sometimes. Now you got your toxicity up 5 times, 10 times. And these guys are just pushing it on you. The more the better. And then, to the point, they're saying, oh, this, Jocko Go, all natural, no toxicity, all this stuff. Oh, my God, of course they're going to buy that. Let's fight against that. That's literally the bad guy. You know?
The rebels doing the good stuff.
Good stuff.
So there you go. Go get some. Go get some Jocko Fuel. Go get some OriginUSA.com. Speaking of jiu-jitsu, you should be training jiu-jitsu. If you're not training jiu-jitsu, you're just missing out. You're missing out. I've had hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of people say, I wish I would have started earlier. Yeah. So go train jiu-jitsu. You're going to train jiu-jitsu? OriginUSA.com. Get a gi, get a rash guard. All American made, by the way. It's all 100% American made. We got jeans. You could do jiu-jitsu in the jeans, by the way, if you wanted to. Because you can squat in the jeans. Like, this is just the facts. Oh, yeah. So we make everything in America. We got the hunt line. The hunt line's out. I was up in Montana. People were asking me about the hunt line. Yep, the hunt line's live, man. You can order your hunt gear. So go check that out. That's what we got going on at OriginUSA.com.
Also, representing on this path, Jocko Store. Go to JockoStore.com. That's where you can get your good shirts. Shirts says good. I think I'm gonna make a few more other variations of that one.
Okay.
That one has legs. That one's a good one to represent.
People are fired. A guy came. I was at the Expo West, which is the natural foods event, and I went up there. We were showing people Jocko Fields. First of all, it's crazy how many people know me and are like, I didn't know you had supplements. I didn't know you had a drink. I didn't know you had ready to drink protein. Like, people didn't know that. I mean, a lot of them did, but a lot of them didn't. A pretty big number. But a dude came up and just started saying the good video, like word for word. And I was like, Jack,
there you go.
In the game.
Oh, yeah.
But what's crazy is he didn't know. He said the whole video, like, memorize, we were laughing. And he's like, bro, I didn't know you had supplements. I'm like, yeah, we got them, man. I'm sorry I'm doing a bad job putting out the word. Yeah. But there you go.
All good. This path, all kinds of good stuff on there. Also, discipline equals freedom, too. You want to represent that? Yeah. Represent. Hardcore. We also have the shirt locker, so don't forget about that. Mm-hmm. If you're not on it, it's okay. It's cool. Just check it out as much as you want. I got a little, what do you call it? We'll call it a sneak peek. You kind of see what you're dealing with
for
in a general
forthcoming?
way. For forthcoming.
For the current
month.
Current.
Yeah. So it's like it's not a surprise, but it's not a full reveal. But anyway, subscription scenario. Get a new shirt every month. It's a cool one. You're still representing on the path, just in a little bit more creative, more in the game kind of way. People like it. I'm telling you. Yeah. Anyway, JockoStore.com.
Yep. Subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to the Jocko Underground. Go to JockoUnderground.com. That's our own platform that we can't get kicked off of because we own it. So they can't kick us off. JockoUnderground.com. Check out our YouTube page. Check out Origin USA YouTube page. Check out the Jocko Fuel YouTube page. We got people putting out content, info for you on those. Psychological warfare. Check out FlipsideCanvas.com. Obviously, I've written a bunch of books. Final Spin, Leadership Strategy and Tactics Field Manual, The Code, The Evaluation, The Protocol. A bunch of books. Discipline Equals Freedom Field Manual. The Way of the Warrior Kid series, by the way. The best kids' books ever written. Yeah, did I say that? Yes, I did. I've never read a kid's book that was better than the Way of the Warrior Kid book series. Have you, Echo?
No.
And if anyone has a book that's better than the Way of the Warrior Kid series, please let me know, and I will talk about it on here. I'll cover it on the podcast. If not, then get these books for every kid that you know and help them have a better life. Mikey and the Dragons, About Face by Hackworth, Extreme Ownership, Dichotomy Leadership. Echelon Front, we have a leadership consultancy. Go to echelonfront.com if you want to help with your leadership inside your organization. We have a bunch of live events that we do as well. Don't forget, we have the online training academy for how to lead yourself in life. Extremeownership.com. I'm on there answering questions. We have a bunch of content that you can go through, a bunch of courses you can take. You can learn how to deal with problems with leadership. You can learn how to live better. Extremeownership.com. Go check that out. And also, if you want to help service members, active and retired, you want to help their families, you want to help Gold Star families, check out Mark Lee's mom, Mama Lee. She's got a charity organization. And if you want to donate or you want to get involved, go to americasmightywarriors.org. And don't forget about Micah Fink and what he's got going on with heroesandhorses.org. Current report from the field. Micah Fink has just sawed down a bunch of trees. He's built a raft, and he is forging a river with a horse at this time, chasing a bear with a spear.
Crazy.
So give it up for Micah Fink and what he's doing to help out our veterans. If you want to connect with us, Echo's at Echo Charles. I'm at Jocko Willink. Watch out for the algorithm. It's strong. It's there. It's a beast. It's got claws. It's got teeth. It'll put its teeth around your neck and kill you, the algorithm. So watch out. Thanks to all of our military personnel around the world who are out there making the best decisions for us to protect us and protect our way of life here. And also thanks to police, law enforcement, firefighters, paramedics, EMTs, dispatchers, correctional officers, Border Patrol, Secret Service, and all first responders. Thank you all for making the right decisions to keep us safe here at home. And to everyone else out there, life is a series of decisions every day. Little decisions, big decisions, decision after decision. But all those decisions have consequences. They can have good consequences. They can have bad consequences, but they have consequences. They put you on the path in life. So make good decisions and don't do dumb shit. And until next time, this is Echo and Jocko out.